Very much. Stunna Cobblestone is coming up here in just a few seconds as soon as we have the teams prepped and ready to go. But judging from the performance there that we saw from Winterfox and the way that they were struggling to really get anything together in their T-side on Cash, that's probably not going to reflect too well now moving on to Cobble.
No, I just don't have much faith in this Winterfox team. I really don't. I think Cobble's a map that you could definitely upset people on. It's pretty open. A lot of times you could really get like momentum going. You know, especially on like T side, if you can win, you know, even force buying too, you have a lot of opportunities to win rounds just because of the close range combats and drop, you know, pop flashing out of being, really getting in people's face, pushing statue. But lately we've actually seen teams, I would say in the past few months, get a lot better on their CT side Cobble. I mean, especially like a team like Virtus.pro. I think Cobble used to be very, very T-sided in general, and now we're seeing it shift a lot more to evenness, a lot more to CTs, even getting the better of Ts in a lot of scenarios. Adding, I think when they changed the stairs, so it was, you know, more up, and now people are aware of that, and also they made the flowers, you know, you could hide more there. I think it made a big difference as well. So I think it's becoming more and more CT-sided, but again, I think it is a map that you could upset on. I just don't have much faith in this Winterfox squad, just straight up.
Well, for Winterfox, at the very least, they do get to start off on what was in the last map, their better half here, as they'll jump onto the CT side. NRG will be jumping on a T side. Marky there as well. A little bit prepped to kind of jump into the phrase. He works himself up to the suicide steps, and they'll be swinging in very quickly here. Raz tries to challenge it directly there in the alleyway, but no, he's taken down just seconds later by Marky. They find that kill. There won't actually be any follow-up, though, as most of NRG actually fell back instead of going through with Marky. Got that kill, though, and now the bomb is shifting its way through the B halls to work its way over onto this B bomb site. And in the meantime there, we can see actually Winterfox seems to have gotten a semi-decent read onto this one. Well, obviously, since there is no presence on A, we are going to see Offny starting to move his way back over towards kind of a shifting position in the site connector here. But still, they've got two sitting in the site. And at a moment's notice, Offny can also jump back in, but he is sitting outside, currently watching the window in case they do try to go for an A-split. APOC actually finding the first kill, and imagine firing off almost this entire clip here, but not being able to impact onto a single kill. Peter and Daps combo together two on their own. Imagine stuck in the corner here. There's nowhere for him to run anymore, and they're trying to bait him out now, and there you go, Breezy finally taking him down. There's only one remaining, and he was trying to work for a flank, but his teammates on the site, unfortunately, were not able to hold for long enough to allow for this to come to fruition, so it's just going to be Zeusy challenging out multiple players from NRG without any success at all, and Peter will close things out to give NRG the pistol.
Yeah, and that is that's just rough if you're Winterfox. You really want to get off to a good start. I mean, you know, like I said, when you're the underdogs, you just need a couple of those swing rounds, and pistol rounds, you know, are definitely rounds that could do it. But, you know, I looked back at last season, and Winterfox ended the season with like 4 losses in a row. They started out this season with 5 losses in a row now, and if NRG makes us their 6th, that's going to be 9 or 10 losses in a row that they're going to start out with, and they just haven't been, you know, playing well lately. And again, with these conservative buys or something that I just really disagree with. I think, you know, if you're Winterfox, they use their nade stack at B. I think we saw Virtus.pro do this actually. So they tried that, but doesn't land. They see that 4 B nades came out, so they're just going to run up to A. Daps in a position to really farm some frags and get some money on the board. Not able to get anything out of it, but they do have the A site completely free. Winterfox just has some P250s. That's really it. They got a Mac 10 on APOC, but they're not going to get much from this. So they're going to lose this round pretty easily. And like I said, man, I really think you should buy there if you're Winterfox. Whether you practice buying or not, I mean, in those scenarios, it's just one of those situations where, you know, that's a swing round. You know, second round is a swing round, and you need those rounds if you're Winterfox. And that's one of your best chances to win it, is to force up with the pistol, maybe, you know, play something off a pop flash or you know, overstack a site or something like that, and take your chances.
And I believe they even dropped the recovered SMG that Winterfox managed to pick up now. So Winterfox will be escaping with essentially nothing on this round. Imagine with a P250s even. It's not really anything to write home about. So NRG get through this one relatively cleanly. Daps will be the only one going down more than likely with that one death, which means they're already off to a good economical start here too on the NRG side, assuming they can follow through with this on the 3rd round. Yeah,
and whenever I played, I would play practice, right? And when I practiced, I would always kind of not do like leans like that, you know, force buys and just like huge stacks and things like that, because I wanted to, you know, practice like your normal spots and your normal setups a lot more, so you get that, and then just add it in there a little bit during practice. But when you play matches, you know, even if they practice, right, where they always save on the second round, I think when you're playing against teams that are better than you and you want to have a better chance of winning the match, I think sometimes you go outside of your practice zone, right? You probably don't take, you know, huge risks on certain rounds and important rounds, right? But I think you need to do that if you're Winterfox in order to beat NRG.
Winterfox this time have put essentially everyone inside of the site connector here, not committing it to either bomb set. All 5 players basically just hiding out around the pole there. So NRG are going to start to move in, mainly investigating towards drop right now as they move to clear things out there. And even the guys that are out over there towards the A courtyard are even going to move in and I think commit to this too. So in a second, Winterfox is, I mean, they're going to have to shuffle over towards the B bomb site, but with the current positions, if NRG does push back out, then Winterfox are just going to end up getting boxed out and they won't really be able to do much on this round. So they'll have to fall back and basically just try to position for exits would be their best bet at that point. And we can already see Fugly moving forward at challenges, catching a few of them with nades in hands too. Imagine being the first one to go down. Morgan to leap it. There's 2, there's 3 for Fugly. He'll only get 4. Unfortunately, no. APOC will finally shut him down, but the remainder are sitting outside here, and it will be a relatively easy cleanup as NRG will get themselves up to 3.
I mean, it's decisions like that that I just don't understand, though. Like, you know they have the B site. You're trying to flash into drop room when your players aren't even really that close. Like, they were still, like, you know, a second. Even if that flash landed and people were in drop room, they would have gotten unblinded by the time those players actually went into the drop room. You see that flash happens, they weren't even, like, next to the thing. Look at how long that took for them to get that. Even if that flash landed, he still would have gotten unblind by the time they ran in and tried to kill him. So it's like all you want to do in that situation is just sit there and just wait and look for anybody who chases you, essentially, because you're just gifting them money at that point. Like, you just kind of gifted, you know, Fugly over there, you know, $1,800 or whatever, right?
So now we shifted into the first gun round here as Winterfox goes for their investment. Thankfully, their really preserved advice has given them an up, along with armor behind it too, which is probably the more important part there on the first gun round, where normally you're not even going to see that up. Along with some decent utility for most players on the roster, NRG are still working with a lot of these SMGs and whatnot from the anti-ecos because they got through it so cleanly. Only 2 players died in the last 2 rounds. Raz is going to miss his first shot though, and it almost seemed like it was open season for him, but the shot connects into the wall. He's forced to fall back, and unfortunate timing for Zeusy there, looking back down to the bottom of the suicide steps as Fugly peeks him from the top side. So already we have 2 kills now going into the way of NRG. Peter knocking at Imagine. They know Raz, I believe, is sitting up on the platform somewhere, so Daps is going to have to try and appropriately challenge this. Flashbang will hold him back, but no, he's not looking in the right direction here. So very, very quickly we're seeing NRG overwhelm the site. Off to Raz have been able to pick up 2, but there's Marky with the trade. 2 more going the way of NRG, and it falls to APOC, trying to clutch 1v2. The good news is nobody, well, at least up until that point, was paying attention over to the balcony, but Breezy puts a very swift end when he does change his gaze, and it's NRG again pushing forward, winning the first gun round.
Yeah, and if I'm Winterfox, like here, I would probably pistol half armor, you know, or even pistol armor and try to win this round instead of being really conservative with it. And it looks like they're going to be pretty conservative. They just have a few P250s, half armor on 1 player. So almost bringing it back if you're Raz and APOC there, getting a kill apiece, but you know, still, again, kills just go their way. Raz misses a crucial shot on the jumping Mac 10er, running across there, and nade, I don't know, that looked like it was going to kill Raz, but he runs into the Molotov anyways.
So he doesn't even see that one. A little bit of a mistake there is going to lead to an early elimination of Raz. And for the rest of NRG, again, it's really taking their time about things. They have literally nothing to worry about so far in this match, as it's essentially going the same exact way that we saw Cash go to. Even more to dominant fashion, as if I recall correctly, Winterfox won the first gun round on Cash. So they're even already doing better than they did in that last round. They are going to be able to shake off the kill into Daps, but I doubt APOC is getting much farther than this. Trying to toss the nade so he can move forward and find 1 more kill. He succeeds in that one, but now in a moment, he is also going to be flying from behind, so there is no escape. Marky will take him down, and NRG continue to push forward with relatively no issues.
And they just have so much money. I mean, they won with 3 alive on a round that they had 3 you know, the 4th round gun round, 3 SMGs, a Galil, and an AK. You know, and they won the round with 3 alive, so they're able to just pick up the op off Raz they picked up. They picked, you know, they kept that AK, and then they probably got another like M4 that Daps is using now. And they just have so much money at this point that it's just such an uphill. Like, Winterfox has already dug themselves in such a deep hole by putting up like almost no resistance on that 4th round gun round after their 2 consecutive saves. Like, economically speaking, they're like 10 feet behind.
Well, they are going to be able to get themselves a little bit of a bigger buy this time around. Onto the double up setup, which they are going to split up across the map, I do believe. The first one playing mainly all over A, as we can see Raz is kind of the designated player to be playing out to the long A position, and he's also going to have to watch out for lower pushes too, as he's currently alone here. The other up in the hands of APOC, and he's playing in the usual spot we suspect to be down on the B bomb site, which is going to be the chicken coop. It'll be a bit of a surprise for NRG, but actually most of their pressure hasn't even come out towards Broken Wall early on. It has been down over here and dropped. They look to get control, so that second up may not find as much effectiveness on the early pushes. They would have looked towards it, but there we go, the Molotov first off. I think they spotted Imagine over here in the transition room, so they are going to know his position here. Now it comes down to the timing of it, though, as they do move into smoke off the other side, so they won't be flanked out from the window, and the other players are prepared to push themselves out towards Broken. Good news is, though, is that Imagine has not gone down yet, so it's not open season. That's a great pop flash, too. Unfortunately, the T Pugly is a little bit further behind. Now they'll swing in, and Daps immediately shuts down Imagine. They have the smoke cross to get them out through Broken. Unfortunately, they're not paying attention over here down to the bottom of the Broken Wall, so they do sneak off 2 kills. It's APOC and Offnu that do that. It's still even, though, into a 3v3. APOC getting hit heavily with a nade, but not flinching even once. He needs this kill on Pugly as he pushes out, but no, what? Marky through the chicken coop just destroys APOC. Now they're down to 2 on the CT side here. Zusi is going to get overwhelmed, though the Raz did sneak in 1 more kill. He's got them both so low, he could just do this with his pistol if he wants to, and he's going to look for more options inside here. Rifle on the ground if he wants to trade it out, and if he has that intel, so there we go. The rifle pickup from him to try and play this out instead. And he'll move forward here, but immediately Peter edges him out, and it's NRG that push forward again. 6-0 now. Still not a round on the board for the Kiwis, as we were corrected in the last game.
Yeah, and I mean, they were actually in really good position to win that round. I believe it was a 3v3. They even crossed the site with no smoke at the door, no flashes or anything. Pete just runs across with a P250. Nobody kills him. He just goes towards the site for free somehow. But they were in a good spot. Now, Winterfox again, they smoke middle. They have like 4 or 5 people there, and Marky's going to
Marky actually can't get that second kill. He pretty much finishes it off, though. Offnu's already at 4 HP. Peter, it's going to be in the hot seat for a moment here, and he decides to back up and just hightail out of here as the rest of his team does move in to take full control of the B-bomb site. Now he's got himself a corner to work with. Still very low, though, so it's actually kind of smart of him to remain a bit more mobile here to change things up. Misses that shot, though, and down he will go. Zusi picking up the frag. Brings us into a 3v3, and this is an AK and an op they are going to be able to get away with here, and also may restrict them from evacuating to the bomb site. They can still go out through the site connector and into A and escape pretty cleanly there, but it actually looks like they're just going to go for this now, pushing back in. They're all trying to get through Broken Wall, but they're going to be held back so long because of the smoke and Molotov that it's just not going to be worth it, and we can see the immediate decision to change their minds, so they'll fall back and just choose to save these guns instead. Yeah,
I thought Marky was going to get like at least 3 there, but only able to get 1, does about 95 to the other one, but this isn't a bad save. I mean, they get an op and an AK, but at the same time, you know, you need more than that if you're Winterfox. You need one of these rounds to go your way. I mean, look at the economy that's built up on NRG. Almost their entire team is over 10K after already being bought. So they're just looking really strong. Only 1 death on Breeze, 1 death on PDR there. And those shots, I do want to say, when you're in like really unfamiliar territory like that, like how often do you take a battle when you're a T-spawn on the steps, yeah, right? Yeah. And people are pushing you from T-spawn, you know, on the other side, right? From like the statue side, or it's like they're really unfamiliar shots, and sometimes, you know, things like that happen where you think like, oh, you're gonna get this kill for sure, but then it's just such unfamiliar territory that sometimes you're not able to capitalize off that.
So a decent molly early on here is going to splinter NRG to a certain degree if they wanted to go for a fast execute, just roll out on B. So held them off for that, but again, still plenty of plans to work with on the NRG playbook here. They even already have the smoke on Broken Wall that they can use to go past this Molotov and through the cross, but there's a bit of a mystery, as if someone from Winterfox is sitting up behind that box there. Marky, though, is just going to leap right through it, going in. They haven't spotted that player behind the box on platform yet. It's 3 fast kills for Winterfox. Breezy trades 1, Fugly with a second, but it doesn't matter, as now Fugly's alone. He's got to clutch this one. Already up to 2. He needs 2 more to finish it off. The bomb's gone down. Still a minute on the clock, though. Time's not really a big issue at the moment. And thankfully, he has smokes covering off most of that site. But still, falling back, and it'll take him an extra 10 to 15 seconds here, even being cautious as to watch out for a flank over boost or something like that too. So he'll fall completely back and just be really, really cautious about the way that he proceeds here, making sure that Winterfox have not flanked him so that he can go back out on the site. Problem being, he is going to lose the advantage of having those smokes in the cross, which would have allowed to get him free clearance over to the plant position and at least start the timer in his direction. Now, though, on the peak, Raz will be waiting if he continues up this sidewalk here, although I actually think he's going to edge it out and he'll be able to find Zusi, but no, he misses the opportunity, and on that repeat from Raz, he'll finish off the job, finally putting Winterfox on the board here.
Yeah, and I don't like how Winterfox played that. I know they won the round. I never like it when you actually stick together in those 2v1s like that and play like that passively like that. I think on Cbble you can kind of get away with it, especially if you're in the connector. But myself, I always see teams do that now, and I really think it's the wrong way to play in those 2v1s on CT side. I think if you have really good players, especially who really know how to play like a site like on Mirage, for instance, you could split up and you could have somebody A and have somebody B and be fine. As we look for early aggression by APOC, and now this round, of course, is super important because NRG lost their round, but they lost their round in the right way. They only ended up with 2 alive. So if they are able to win this round, they're going to force them on onto an eco, and it's going to be really difficult for Winterfox to even get double digits on the tap.
Winterfox again though putting a lot of utility pressure over here at Breezy. Again, that smoke does not spread in the right direction. It does now though, but he has that smoke to try and fall back through. Still taking 50 damage from it as it does spread himself back out. So it's still not the best situation here for Breezy. He does have to shift away from it. But at the end of the day, it's still somewhat evenly traded. APOC was also brought down to 40 HP at some point during this round too. Thankfully though, it seems Winterfox have finally found a good enough combination of utility to be able to actually hold off NRG from just rolling directly into that B bomb site. The plans are now going to shift, as we can see. The bomb falling back through the B halls and just to the outside of the mid connect there, but they are going to change up the game plan a little bit and try to go for what I believe is going to be an A split, as you still have Daps and I think Fugly going in for drop control here in a moment.
Yeah, dangerous peeks by Pete, just kind of jumping out middle. Breeze with him to trade, but he does have bomb and op. Taking control of these A halls really aggressively, has a teammate to fall back on now, and it looks like it's going to be an A play with Daps trying to keep him towards B.
And as they do move in towards it here, Zeusy first at the back to challenge it. Gets the first kill, no problem at all. Peter also going to get hit by a flash. Zeusy, though, trying to challenge his own aggression. Looks away, though, over there towards the ramp position. And that's going to allow Peter to roll right in. 2 quick kills for him. Daps even finding another one here in the drop. That's going to hold off the rotation. APOC is focused 100% on taking down the player in window. And Breezy, well, he's going to spot Imagine. But oh, no! Imagine's actually able to hold there. In addition to APOC grabbing the kill on a Daps, so all of a sudden we're even. But both the remaining Winterfox players are both heavily lit down to somewhere between 30 and 40 HP each. They'll both move out through the doorway here, but Fugly has them lined up, gets the first one. APOC now down at 23. Peter misses the shot, so we're in a 1v1. And as we can see, 7 bullets left in the chamber for Fugly to try and work with here now. But APOC, again, also trying to peek out this at the right time, and he is going to be able to find the shot. He shuts down Fugly. However, time getting low, but with the kid on the ground, I think he's just barely going to be able to squeeze this one through and pick up a second round for Winterfox.
Yep, 4v2, and APOC is able to get that 3K and end up winning the round. A round that NRG had really no business losing, but at the end of the day, I mean, they have another opportunity here in order to force them into, a hard eco double save scenario.
And again, just playing it very cautiously here. Both of them at the end of the day were in very high stakes scenarios here, but APOC ends up winning it out at the end of the day. Gets the right angle, the right timing there, peeks it back out and shuts it down. NRG, though, still not even close to running low on cash flow here, so we will see another full investment coming out from them. 4 AKs and the op still to be seen on Peter as well, but it is a lot more passive than some of the previous rounds have been, where before they were pretty quickly trying to get themselves in a position to try to push out towards Broken Wall within the first 20 to 30 seconds of the round. This time, it's spread out essentially into a default as they just sit back and try to play for picks against Winterfox.
Yeah, and a nice V push is coming out. Breeze getting mollied out. Aggression coming out. This is really, really nice stuff from Winterfox. So they have that plat control. They know nobody's on the left. And now what does NRG do from that? Do they want to retake it? Because Raz could be positioned there with an op. They heard the umps, but that could, of course, be an op, backing it up.
Imagine sitting back down in the corner here. He will look to challenge his aggression, but Daps already looking out for it, as will Fugly.
Wow.
Fugly gets the better of it here, immediately taking him down.
That was a great pre-fire. Normally people don't check that spot.
Meanwhile, over there on the B-bomb, so they did boost up APOC to try and play up on top of the rock position there. Often you're getting the spot on the players on boost, and again, just essentially using utility to hold them back, which is the way that they've been playing these past 3 rounds, and it's actually been working out very well for them to hold NRG away from these B plays. Now that time is getting low, and there's nobody watching out the transition room right now, so Daps just rolls right out. APOC has his back turn. It's easy frags for him. Now it's down to Zeusy on this site. Raz had rotated in, but now he's got a 1v4 and a very expensive gun, which is going to be worth more to him at the end of the day than an attempt at a 1v4 clutch.
Yeah, but, it's a worst-case scenario for Winterfox. The rounds they win with 1 or 2 alive, and now they're going to be reset. Raz getting a nice little exit onto Daps, but he only had about 10 HP, so I think the hunt's gonna occur right now. And Raz, I think you gotta really hope if you're Winterfox that he's able to save this gun, and it's going to be a difficult save. Pete's coming behind him; he's in middle right now, and Raz has a lot of angles to look at. Not only danger, but long haul, and also coming up from connector.
Danger gonna be flanking him in a second, and Peter willing to get the easy closeout. So the op gets dropped. No saves at all for Winterfox, and now as we take a look at their money, it's all over the place. But for the most part, everybody's sitting below 3K. Definitely not going to be enough for an investment here, and especially considering it where we are in the half, going into round number 11, I believe, in a second here. It's not going to be good, as now they have to rebuild it all over again after they lost the losing bonus.
Yep. They just, I mean, it's bare bones, right? So they just got some P250s, a couple flashes, and a deagle, and I mean, it looks like Winterfox is going to have a disastrous half.
Early on, though, NRG still adopting this more spread out and slow-paced strategy that we saw them kick in about 1 or 2 rounds ago. And finally, their very fast-paced plays towards the B-bombs, they did get early control there, were countered out by Winterfox. If they wanted to go back to that, they'd certainly be able to do so. And Peter just missing an opportunity to be able to take down Offnu. I don't think he was expecting to see him all the way on top of the broken wall itself. So, a bit surprised by that one. Raz still down at 66 HP at the end of the day, however. And now Dap's trying to push in towards mid. Zusi has the chance to push in as well, but he actually is going to get mollied back out. That could lead to Daps finding a kill, but no, just doing little tidbits of damage to Raz, Zusi, all over the place really here, as we do see Peter finally connecting onto a kill over here on the B-bomb site. That was Apoc that got a bit too aggressive up on the broken wall, and Daps also finally claims the kill onto Zusi here now too. Fugly and the rest of the team is just going to move forward with the original plan, which was to move out here on towards B. A little bit messy on the spray, but he does take down Offnu, and Daps jumping in. He actually didn't spot Imagine there. I think the lamp hit him well enough, so finds that one at the very least, and can try to escape with his gun, but no, hasn't even been able to retrieve that. Still just working with a P250, and now stuck just outside of the site door.
Yeah, and there was only a MAC-10 that Daps lost, so no real harm done. He gets taken out through the wall, 9-2. And they are going to be able to buy here, though. They had more money than I thought coming back from that round. I think they had like 3,500 that round. I was a bit surprised by that. But yeah, Winterfox is going to buy. They even have an op onto Raz, so it's not a bad buy at all. But, nobody's really able to do anything right here except for Apoc, throughout this game. 11 kills on him. Nobody else has passed 4, I believe. And everybody on NRG is really doing their part.
Winterfox, again, spreading out here, but still, it's been working for them in some cases, but they do need to rack up a whole lot more rounds here to try to make it competitive as they go back over towards T-side. And keep in mind, too, this is actually where they made more progress back on the first map. Breezy, though, not playing around this time. He immediately spots 2, executes them both, goes for the 3rd, and gets it. Apoc, Offnu, Imagine, all bow down to Breezy. And it's just Zusi and Raz left alive, and they're not even going to attempt this. They're already falling back for a save. And look at this. Again, the intuition from NRG. The positions just work out beautifully so that Fugly is already in the A-bomb site looking to hunt down these last 2.
Yeah, and I mean, those were like really nice shots by Breeze, but at the same time, it's like your setup is just, all 3 of you are just like statue kind of fighting him. Nobody's utilizing flashbangs, nobody's spotting and then getting, information, and then a flash is coming to make it easier on you. Nobody's pushing up for platform control or anything like that. You're all basically at the same spot, so it's just, I don't know, it's very troubling.
Zusi still trying to survive, but unfortunately he may meet his match outside here. Peter casually finishes things off with a P250, and I believe this is going to lead into a pretty big save from Winterfox. If they want to buy going into what I think is going to be the last round coming up next, they are pretty much just going to have minimal investment in this round, so in most P250s, unless they just want to half buy, which probably won't work out too well for them, since it'll leave them with a pretty weak force in the last round. Yeah,
and I mean, if Apoc is there at the stairs and he just gets a flashbang from one of his teammates, he probably gets a double kill there. Like, those are the things that you need to do in order to be, a team like NRG. You need to coordinate things like that. And you should know that there's a possibility that he's out. He flashed and made noise when he's coming out. So just one pop flash there coming in front of the brown box, and bam, he probably gets a double kill. That's all it really takes. Now they're put on another eco. We're looking at NRG closing this half out, with 11 rounds, probably minimum.
We can see again that they just waited out here and specifically are waiting to see if Winterfox will be trying to do anything aggressive, but I think that they've pretty much gone away from that. One thing that we still actually probably will see in a moment here is either a broken wall or a stairs push, which Peter's watching out for. A bit late on the timing, though, so the shot against Offnu is a miss. APOC, though, getting hit a little bit from somewhere else on the map here as he's down at 87 HP, but Breezy now. We saw what he could do in the last round, and now he's doing it against Pistols. Spots the player going into the new deeper cubby there, so they keep a mental note of that for later. And now they're going to try to push him, but he's ready for it. Already 3 kills going by the way of NRG here as they dispatch of all of the B-side defenses. There is still APOC waiting in drop. Fugly knows he's here somewhere, but he doesn't know he's sitting right out in the open. That shot should give it away, though, but no, he's dinked. So he does it to back away. That's no big deal, though, as again, the actual site is already under the control of NRG.
Yeah, and Raz just trying to look for any type of an exit he can get. But bomb's going down. Breeze Fugly weak, 2 and 4 HP. But Marky, again, what do we see every time Winterfox is around here? They always have somebody hunting them from that A site. And I mean, NRG doesn't really care. They're kind of playing a lot more loosely. They know they're going to win this game, or at least feel like they can win this game pretty easily and kind of turn it on whenever they need to. And that's why you see Breeze kind of just like going out of that smoke with a flash and just taking 3 come battles, right? It's because he just really just doesn't have the respect for Winterfox to punish a play like that. And that's why he's taking it. Like, you wouldn't see that type of play happen if they were playing, you know, SK or anything like that, right? It's kind of playing against your opponent a little bit.
Well, we go into our second last round of the half here, and the last big investment, unless they win out this one here, is going to be rolling in for Winterfox. And we can see it's not even full rifles for the entire team. APOC is going to have to downgrade himself 2 and up to try and work with here, whereas NRG, they are rolling in the cash at this point. No problems at all for them. They have been set, you know, ever since 6 to 7 rounds ago almost, for this entire half as it would seem. So they're looking fine, and a bit of a change up in the dynamic as we are going to see a lot more aggression leading out towards long A, whereas previously this was mainly going towards Broken Wall. Daps leading the charge over here, and they're just systematically clearing it out. So there will be no challenge at all from the Winterfox side of things. They're sticking to the site.
Yeah, and NRG, 2 players towards B. They're taking that slow A control. There was some utility to take control, but they still have... they just have 1 smoke, 2 Molotovs, though, to do any type of a take. So it's not going to be something that's like a full execute. It's going to be something that's pretty bursty when they actually hit this A site. As they are getting in position, they're going to have 5 players here, nobody lurking towards B. Raz should be able to get an early spot, though. And if the rotation comes properly, APOC should be there very, very early on. And Ofnu, honestly, should be able to rotate very quickly as well.
Raz playing a very aggressive position up on top here. He spotted them going over towards ramp, but he couldn't find the shot himself, and now he's going to be flashed back out over here to the corner, so he's got to focus on the long push, which he knows nothing about this right now. Peter immediately shutting him down. In the meantime, here comes Marky, pushing his way back past the APC. He'll take down Zeusy. That's destroyed. All site control being held by Winterfox. APOC closest to being able to push himself back in. Loftu has been eliminated. Marky spots the push from APOC a mile away. He wasn't trying to be quiet about that one at all. And with Imagine being the last man standing, again, this has to back away, as unfortunately their money's not going to support the best of buys going into this next round, and having that rifle will be a little bit more of a boon for them to work with.
Yeah, and that's the second time that Raz has been inside the A site looking towards the wood wall cross, and Pete just crouch peeks him and kills him when it's an op-v-op duel. And that just makes it like, if that anchor, he's essentially the anchor there at A, right? He's the guy who needs to get a kill, and if he stays alive, because of how they were set up, the rotate should be able to come at a time where his rotator's able to capitalize on him staying alive. But it's just an op-v-op duel that Pete's won twice now, where he's, you know, frankly pretty favored.
So going into that last round, we could already see the buys, and there's that kill you were just talking about too with Peter. That's, again, because he's caught off by that flashbang. He's not able to help out. I think he sees like the 2 or 3 players that are pushing out towards the ramp, but he has to wait so long to be able to take a shot that it's already an unsafe situation. He has to fall back, play to take a shot at a position, which again, he wasn't paying attention to previously, so he doesn't even have the greatest intel about what exactly is going on there, and it's just a very awkward situation for him to play against. Now, into the last round, and again, you can see the buy fully there now from Winterfox. Not the greatest, and what's even worse, Peter's already up to frag, and he's shut down APOC. Nice and early at the beginning of the round, as I believe he tried to push up the steps.
Yeah, this is a very powerful position by Raz here. Breeze, especially if he throws his flashbang, it's going to be that sound cue, and that should allow Raz to nope. That's nice. 2 HP. 2 HP, man. How does that happen?
So a little bit unlucky, as he's not going to get that kill. In the grand scheme of things, though, even with that kill, it doesn't seem like it would have mattered all that much, since now we're down to the 5v2. It would have been a 4v2 if he picked that one up. Zeusy and Imagine both playing to separate sites as well. And in a moment here, Imagine is going to get overwhelmed. Maybe not in drop, but on the B-bomb site. Fugly will jump down in a second here to challenge this, and he is also a little bit low already at 54 HP, and I think Imagine also caught one of them out previously, so yeah, he'll be able to grab that first kill. That's the first starts of it, though, as again, they still have a lot more to go on. Well, he has gotten the rotation from his teammate over here. Still a 2v4, and Imagine standing in that Molotov taking heaps of damage. So he's forced to push his way back out where it's going to be easy pickings for Peter yet again. Zeusy, let's see what he can do here. Last round, he'll go for the attempt, but won't get very far with it. Daps gets the easy closeout, and again, it's 13-2 in the favor of NRG. Guys, the second half is going to be coming up in just a little bit. Stick around as we see if Winterfox's T-side here on Cobblestone will be any better than it was on Cash.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
All right, we are back again here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a repeat of what we had on the first map, just with the sides flipped a little bit there. NRG do dominate their first half yet again, 13-2. Now on Cobblestone, and unfortunately for Winterfox, there just wasn't a whole lot being shown on their CT side. Now they're going to have to try and round the comeback yet again on their T side, and based on what we saw on Cash, it's not going to be the easiest task in the world.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I saw from Winterfox that was kind of like a nice spot, or a nice thing that they did was, you know, their upper B push. I thought that was a nice little wrinkle that they did, but they didn't really capitalize off of it because they just kind of gave up positioning and they didn't position the op there to get any early info. And then NRG just kind of walked up and executed on B. But, you know, besides that, they really didn't put any pressure on NRG. They didn't take any calculated risks, any gambles or anything like that. They played very, very default, very, very static, kind of let NRG do whatever they wanted. Didn't challenge B plat, didn't, you know, really challenge A halls too much. They usually ended up back in the site. They didn't show them any wrinkles, right? They didn't make it difficult on NRG. They didn't never give up drop and then retake drop control or anything like that, which is what we see successful teams on, you know, the CT side do. They did none of that. They just played a very static setup. NRG just read them every time. It was very, very basic. It was kind of like they were dry running everything they needed to, and against like a very static, you know, defense setup. And you know, they paid for it. Winterfox paid for it.
As we can see, they're the stat leaders again for NRG this time. I believe it's Fugly is the one we highlighted. Breeze again up at the top of the scoreboard, though, at 15 and 5. And pretty close to those two was Marky, I think somewhere around 12 and 8. So let's get into it. The second half, as now NRG sits on the CT side. What is quickly becoming a bit of a stat pad match for NRG here. And we'll see if they can make it a quick closeout without allowing Winterfox to grab the pistol or any of the following rounds like they did back on the last map here. But immediately they push back in. Breezy ready to challenge him, but it's Fugly! Oh, and Breezy just dominate those three players back to back to back. Peter with a fourth, and we're not going to see much else beyond that. Zeusy snuck in one kill on Peter, but that is it. And NRG just completely destroy any attempt from Winterfox to try and get control there. I don't even think they got a single player past Broken Wall or the drop room. Yeah, and Optic used to run that setup all the time with Daps in the E-box. And, you know, he just brought it to NRG. Very, very common setup that we see now a lot on Cobble because Optic ran it so much and people liked it. So a lot of teams, you know, mimicked it, and they were able to win that pistol round 14-2. Winterfox do just decide to go for the aggressive force here now as they go for Tech 9 investments this time, though. Peter, also a lot more aggressive back over here on A-Long. He does have to pay a cost for it, though. Down at 12 HP as he gets dinked, and I think Breezy suffers a similar fate. He's down at 4. So ultimately 5v4, yes, but some heavy damage done to the energy players, which will make a side take a little bit easier when they do regroup here on the Winterfox side of things and decide to push back into it. Daps, though, giving up his position further back out, and he's just going to be playing close to the A-bomb site, close to the mid-connector more specifically. And actually, that will be Peter's role, excuse me, as Daps sits back and plays into the doorway as kind of the shifter between the two bomb sites. The rest of Winterfox, again, really spread out here still. Possibly some kind of drop split going to be working its way in. As you still have these two guys trying to push their way through long A. The bomb is now going to be moving back. It will be regrouping with the players out through long A right now. It is still looking towards Imagine. And one more here, Raz, trying to move out for that control, which they've been unable to do. Then time is getting lower.
Yeah, and with no utility, just Tech 9s, I don't know, man. It's pretty tough to hit A, but they are going to be able to take out Pete. They knew exactly where he was. It's still a difficult task, though, because you have no smokes to block anything else, but that makes it a lot easier.
Now Daps waiting in the corner. They'll check that one as well, though, and this is actually like a pretty systematic cleanup here from Winterfox. It's down to 2 now. I don't even think, we'll see in a moment, I don't believe they're actually going to attempt for this retake. Better since they still have the 2 rifles to kind of fall back and save those and try to recover on the next round. But for right now, it's Winterfox that will actually control the situation there. A couple mistakes on these gun battles by NRG does cost very dearly positioning and allows for Winterfox to basically just flood back in and overwhelm that A site. So they'll get control on this one. We'll go to 14-3, but still with these 2 saves, you could probably bet that NRG will go for a more aggressive investment into the 3rd round.
Yeah, I would assume so. You know, all the spots that they played, though, with PTR and Daps were kind of like those spots where they're not getting that early info or anything like that. They're just kind of chilling there. And, you know, a lot of that is just because they had low HP. But the real kill that mattered the most in that round, I think, was Fugly dying to, you know, the player that came out of that connector. Or not connector, but drop room. I think that was like the real frag that mattered the most. Because had he gotten that kill, he could have still played around Heaven. You know, even though it would have been a 3v3, they really would have only had SMGs and Tech 9s. And I think they could have definitely been in a good position to win that retake.
So there goes the investment there from NRG. We're going to see shotguns picked up, upgraded pistols. Marky's even able to get himself a UMP to work with, along with the 2 saved rifles from the last round there. The M4s that they will be picking up. And again, it's a 3-2 setup across the map from NRG here. Very aggressive out through A-Long, but Marky destroying APOC as he does try to move up close towards the drop position there to toss at a nade. The nade gets thrown, and again, Marky has some damage traded onto him, but it's nothing in comparison to what he just did to APOC. Along with this, Raz also has been dropped to 74 HP. Not the best start, and they're going to have a flank to worry about there too. Peter actually, I think the player down the hall there was trading on a gun at the time, so Peter is a bit lucky to survive that encounter, but still gets the intel and is just going to back away really quickly as Daps as well, waiting on the outside of this one. If Winterfox try to change up the game plan a little bit, head back out towards A and split here, Daps will be waiting below the window and may be able to grab this kill. He spotted Imagine. I'm not sure if the same is true in the reverse situation here, but in the meantime, Fugly getting up and close there in the transition room outside of drop. He's found Zeusy. He'll be able to knock him back out. Daps does get good timing on this push, but Imagine's able to react swiftly. Unfortunately, when he does go out into the open, Marky's there. Raz actually finding 2 more kills. May open up an opportunity here for Often to try and clutch. The problem being, though, is he's in this site and he's alone. He gets the angle against Breezy, but actually misses the chance to get a kill, and now has to swing away from this one and run over to A, where he should be able to get the plant. But again, it's going to have very limited options in terms of a position to play from.
I will say, I think this is a 2v1 that he could definitely win. The players on Winterfox, though, all of a sudden just started lagging horribly. But this is a great position right now. He's going to be able to pick up Breeze right there. He sees PTR, so he has a really nice spot, able to close out the round and get that. And that's going to force NRG on a save. But yeah, lagging pretty badly is Winterfox.
So pause will probably get called in a few seconds here since Winterfox really can't play currently unless it stabilizes in a moment here. But yeah, they kind of gave him the time that was needed to get into that position. Unfortunately, if they had caught on to what was happening a few seconds before, they may have been able to crunch him and limit his options, but giving him that nice angle to play around the tree, and he is able to shut down that 1v2. So keeping Winterfox alive a little bit here. Still 10 rounds to go in a row, I should mention, to be able to pick up the tie still. But actually, I mean, no pause was called, so I guess we're just going at it. And Marky has a good flashbang, unfortunately, is a little bit too slow to actually get to the corner there where Raz was hiding out, and he's just going to follow through with the second one as well against Peter. Drop pressure, Fugly won't flinch at all for that, but still, it's Winterfox all the way as they push through and clean things up.
Yeah, now they will probably buy here, but that was a very quick round. I'm surprised Winterfox didn't pause. I think they're kind of you know, just A, whatever, you know.
It might have like stabilized right as the timer's running down, so this looks like it's back to normal now.
Yep, you're right. Where's their team house again? I think it's in Chicago, right?
Yes. It's like a team office, I think.
Okay.
I think they're out of the Steel Series offices there.
Yeah, most people are West Coast. We see Professor Chaos is there. I think he's the new coach for NRG, if I'm not mistaken.
So now again, it's actually going to be pretty close contact here over on the B-bomb side. Yeah, you can already see that. Fugly chiming in for one. Breezy's even yet to reveal himself too, so I'm sure they're going to look to challenge Fugly in a second, but there's going to be another kink they'll have to worry about if they even go out here. Breezy just pushes up, finds a free on the ground. No one's looking to challenge that either. They just let him walk right up and pick that up, and he wasn't necessarily being quiet about it, so Fugly sitting in the back, he's going to meet his match there, unfortunately, since there's not a whole lot of room to work with. So Raz taking him down, but now there's an AK in someone's hands for Winterfox, or excuse me, in Energy side, but they still have to figure that out. But for right now, Energy have fallen back. Try to play it Ranger since Breezy has the AK, but he's taken out very quickly. Offnu finding that frag, and the 4v3 here is just not really plausible for Energy, so more than likely they are going to try and position for exits and fall back to save.
Yeah, NRG thought they were running back for whatever reason, and Winterfox just kept plowing forward, you know, after their smokes and everything. That's why Breeze got the AK and just booked it. Like, for whatever reason, they called, you know, an A stack. They thought, hey, they saw to it B, we got the kill, we have the AK, we think they're going to book it back to A, but instead they just stayed B, and now they're looking to push to this connector and try to farm it.
Peter just grabbing those 2 and 3 kills out of absolutely nowhere. 3 headshot kills in a row, and Marky even sneaks back in there to take down Raz as well. Marky's still going to die to the explosion, but still, for what that round was turning into, that's a huge takeaway at the end of the day for the guys on Energy to just completely destroy the Winterfox economy by forcing them all to rebuy here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. It's nice to look at, right? Like three P250 kills, but at the end of the day, Winterfox has a pretty good amount of money. You'd assume that by the time they, you know, if they lose this game, it's probably not going to be because of the economy, you know, because they pretty much have to win all these rounds anyways, right? But it does suck that they decide to go through connector for whatever reason to save instead of going upper B, which is usually a lot easier to keep your guns.
So for Winterfox, again, pretty much everyone actually just sitting outside of the mid-connector push. They're going to try to go for fast control here. Daps was positioned on the ramp, but has to give that up very quickly as he falls back to the site and promptly tosses down a Molotov. That does not mean he's going to stop Zeus, though, as he just barrels through that, shift walking in, and he'll still take down Daps, but Peter with a dirty peek against Raz. He'll be able to find him. Deary stabilizes things at a 4v4 and somehow survives the encounter over there at long, too. He's going to be pushed in a moment. A few more trades occur. We're down to a 3v2, now a 1v3, and it gets all destroyed there due to very fast rotations from Energy and a good hold overall on that A-bomb site.
And just, well, their economy is looking a little bit worse for wear now because of those deaths. But at the same time, I don't know. I just have no, I was just not a believer in this comeback, Blue. Were you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think, I don't think many were. I really don't. Just outmatched, completely outmatched so far in this best of 2.
Yeah, so Winterfox scrape together what they can. Keep in mind, again, had they had not gotten kind of destroyed by Peter 2 rounds back when they were saving, they would have had pretty much a full buy here. Not even pretty much, they would have had a full buy here going into what could be the last round, but now they're working with Tech 9s, P250s. They still have utility on those that went down to pistols, along with Imagine still having a full stack, but Zeusy is only having that AK to work with, and again, it's very basic what they're trying to deploy towards more than likely, so Energy just go back into their own default stack, and Winterfox will try to go to control, which is going to be somewhat tough to acquire on this B-bomb site with that kind of weapon power.
Yeah, and I mean, the hit on A by them, first off, you know, after that entry, the long A flank came way too late, right? Not only does that happen, but Raz again lost another v-op battle to Peter right there. If he wins that battle, or the A flank comes earlier, or the long A player comes a little bit earlier and shoots Peter on the back, you know, if he was there a second earlier, they definitely probably win that round. He doesn't get that 2K. Maybe he just gets 1 or none if Raz wins the op-v-op battle. But instead, he's consistently killing them in all these op-v-op battles.
Fugly and Peter comboing together too right at the start of this round. Peter even did great damage to Imagine to bring him down to 2 HP. And now he's just sitting back in chicken coop, patiently waiting. Breezy pretty much going to roll in here and almost finish the job. Peter chimes back out, gets that last kill, and that'll be the end of it. It is a shutdown for our second map as well here, and Energy claimed them both. A 2-0 for the night, as they don't struggle at all against the Kiwi/Australian roster.
Yeah, and what was the score of the first map?
16-6.
So six rounds both maps, right? So
yeah.
12 total?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, what else can you say? It was not pretty from Winterfox. We saw a couple things on Cash and Cbble to be, you know, happy about, I think, but overall just outclassed completely.
Yeah. So to close out this match, we're going to send things back over to our analysis desk. Guys, take it away and break down map number 2.
Well, Blue and Vendetta, I guess it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, man, you know, are they going to muster it back? No. So it doesn't come together for them at all. Like, honestly, a couple things I had noted at least. Like, we didn't see any sort of even effort towards taking like a tactical pause there.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They have tactical pauses in online games as well. And I'm not really, from how it looked, it might be the case that Winterfox aren't aware of it either. I don't know.
Man, I would surely hope that that's the reasoning, and because I mean, obviously, look, they had a yet again another rough first half, and they go into the second half, and well, it doesn't really happen. We even saw an instance where their ping started to skyrocket up.
Yeah,
so
they didn't even pause.
Yeah, they didn't even pause then. So I mean, you had that opportunity to take that sort of break.
Yeah.
And maybe you recollect yourselves, but you elected not to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at that point you might be so broken, just mentally you're out of it. Yeah, you're just end this, please. That's all you want. You just want to get out of it. You don't want to prolong your pain, I guess. But no, it was weird, and there was definitely multiple instances where they could have basically put a halt to things. And if nothing else, like they might not find the magical answer they're looking for in a timeout, but at least they're making NRG have to rethink what they're doing, because obviously when a team takes a timeout, you kind of expect them to have some sort of a plan for what you've been doing all along, right? Which like something heavy B pressure, right?
Yeah, something gimmicky on the other side of that timeout.
Exactly. So maybe you start doubting yourself if you're NRG and you mess up because of that. So yeah, no, it's just weird to see Winterfox basically not putting in any sort of effort to actually combat what was going on from NRG's side. But you know, to NRG's credit, they don't have to never change a winning team, right?
I guess you're right. Look, NRG, to further down that road, let's take a look at Breeze's stats here. You know, this guy, he's been good. Yeah. You know, even when he was playing under Slimmy, like when they had that sort of team. Like this guy, he was there. He was right on the cusp of making it to the Pro League. We see him in the Pro League now, and he's doing work.
Yeah, he is, and he, like I said at the pregame, he's one of those players that I look to be like, in the future, one of the more common names that you hear of from NA, to kind of just go through those stepping stone teams and eventually end up with one of the better ones. And the kind of performance he had here on Cbble, you know, definitely shows that he has the potential to come up big in games, even though level of play is going to be higher versus the opponents. But you know, he's showcasing what he's able to do.
Speaking of showcasing, we're going to take a look at round 10 right now. We've got NRG loaded up, and they pretty much come in here and do work. Walk us through this one, Vendetta.
Yeah, so, but the one reason why I wanted to highlight this round is because Winterfox actually do something different than playing extremely passive like they did on the A-bomb set for the better part of it. And you can see that's them utilizing a lot of utility. That's 2 of the Molotovs that they have on that B-bomb set, plus the smoke to actually get off into a forward position on B, but they leave it, which is the big question mark that I don't really understand, because the initial idea is really good. From what they're doing, they're grabbing map control on, I guess, an orthodox part of the map, because normally you'd see people play aggressively on the A-bomb side. Instead, they do that towards B. But it doesn't make sense to use so much nades and mollies to grab that space if you're just going to give it up within 10 seconds of the round. Because what you've done, you've weakened your defense towards drop room as well, as you can see that NRG, after just kind of getting Breeze out of dodge at B long, they go back to drop. They have a double peek with Fugly, and can't remember who the second guy was from NRG, but do a double peek towards drop after using their utility, managed to find the first frag, and at that point, if you're Winterfox, you've lost control over drop, you've lost control over B long, and you know, to just make matters even worse, you don't even have any utility on the 2 remaining players left on the B bomb site. So you're strangleholding yourself in so many ways without getting any sort of return for it. And is off the back of their own decision-making. It's like they have a plan that's, in theory, pretty decent, but they end up just doubting themselves midway through and then making matters worse.
Absolutely could not put things together there. Like, it just was, it was not going to happen.
It was like, yeah, so even if they had like a good initial idea, they managed to fumble it up for themselves. Right. Which is, normally you're supposed to let the opponent do that for you. But yeah, no, in that sense, Winterfox were doing it all.
When we say it like that, let's look at another young man here, Fugly, as he's able to bring up You know, quite a bit of firepower on his side of things, right?
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about that DAPS, PTR, Fugly trio right there being the more veterans on that squad. And as we take a look now, 36-29 in the KD, but you know, he definitely played his role. He did his part there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the things. Obviously, like a lot of the focus has been on what Winterfox hasn't been able to do. But again, you have to give credit to NRG for playing the same similar style. Like De Beers was talking in his Telestrator videos about how NRG on Cash, for instance, bored their opponents to death by playing an extremely late, slow style. Like, they're true to what they do, and they have an idea of how they want to play and how they want to approach the game. So obviously, depending on how your opponent plays, you're not going to be in a position where you necessarily get to jump on all the frags and all that kind of stuff. But every player has a purpose within every round, and you can see that by how they're executing.
Well, let's look at that purpose. I mean, obviously, we spoke a little bit about PTR during the game. What are your thoughts on him as an opper?
That's the thing. Like, every time I watch Peter, it's he's really quick with the op. He's fairly accurate with it as well most of the time. So every time I watch him, I feel like he should be doing better than what he is currently doing. So I'm not really sure what hinders him from taking that step up once again and becoming, you know, one of the prime operators in NA that is basically the people want on his team, right? Or people want to be on his team, or he wants to be recruited, right? But it's hard to put a finger on, but he definitely has the potential in him, and you see it every now and again. I think this game he ended up with something like 25 frags and 9 deaths or something, and it was constantly just making Raz's life a nightmare.
Which, in that game, if they weren't living in their own nightmare by that point, you know, you got Dirty Peak Pete. Over there on the
exactly. Dirty Peak Pete. But that's what, those kind of peaks, like the way he picks off Raz holding off on that A take, for instance, like, it's super quick. Like, it's really tough to actually deal with if you're Raz in that situation, or any other operator. So Peter does have that potential in him. So I'm not really sure what he can do to find that consistency, but you could definitely tell that his absolute top level is really, really high.
Well, speaking of top level, we've got the cream of the crop of matches coming up on the night when we come back from this break. We've got Cloud9, we've got Immortals going back-to-back on Best of Ones at 7:30 PST, though, so make sure you're there. We'll be right back.